Hi, I'm Gina Wagers, and we are going to be discussing Module 1's Introductions and Communication. Before I do that, I do want to introduce myself. I feel like my professional passion has to do with reaching those kids that nobody else can reach and advocating for students who maybe haven't been as successful in traditional classroom settings. This is my 8th year in education as a reading intervention teacher. I actually got my bachelor's degree from Northern Michigan University and taught reading intervention there for a year before I moved down here to Junction City, Kansas. And for the last 7 years, I've been working in the Geary County's USD 475 schools as a reading intervention teacher. I started out at the high school here, and then the district was starting to create an alternative program for middle school students who were at risk academically and needed more support before reaching high school. So I joined that and have been teaching with the magnet program with 7th and 8th graders, doing the same reading intervention that I was before, just with that group of students. And so I'm excited now because I feel like this has really helped me discover that passion and really set some goals for myself for my professional future and looking at how I can expand my influence and use that knowledge to really help me become a building administrator and then advocate for those students. So transitioning into the information from the module, how are we using communication to build relationships that are helpful in supporting current and future success of our students and staff? So thinking about this, at a district level, in my district, communication to parents and guardians kind of takes on a couple different methods here. We do have our district website, which links to all of our individual schools in the district. And this is your self-service portal where you can find a lot of information, links to services and forms, links to Skyward, ways to connect with your building and see what's going on in the district in general. So the website has recently been updated in the last couple of years. I'm not sure how user-friendly it is from the mobile side of things, but I know they have been doing a lot of work to kind of make it look a little neater, cleaner, easier to navigate for all of our parents. Probably the most common way that we use communication other than just posting or referring people to the website would be Skyward. That is the platform that we use for grading and attendance, but it has this great feature where any parent who registers or enrolls their student in the district provides an email address. And then if we want to push notifications out to a large number of parents, that's an easy way to do that because you can send a mass message through that. It gets posted to their Skyward, but then also gets sent to that email address that parents provide. And I would say that email is a really big way that we do communicate with our parents. In addition to that, we also do have a text message system for emergencies or notifications, reminders about there being no school, things like that. So parents can also get that information in a more timely way, right? That one-way communication that just gives them the information that they need to know right now. Other than that, we do have, we stream our Board of Education meetings and highlights from the superintendent. He does post or make videos kind of meeting with and discussing things that are going on in different buildings with different administrators so that everybody can be informed about things that are going on throughout the district. So those are also ways that parents can stay connected and informed about the things that are happening, not just with the district level, but then also that might pertain to their particular buildings if they're wanting that information. As far as the district level to our staff, we do rely heavily on email within our district. The superintendent, in addition to making those videos for parents, also will create these emails that he sends out to update staff on things that are happening within the district, whether it's like initiatives or awards that we've received to highlight positive things, or whether it's a new policy or protocol that he wants to address that will be implemented. So he makes those videos or sends that information to us directly. We also, our teaching and learning department at the district level creates a weekly Friday flyer using SMORE, that platform. A lot of times it has information with upcoming PD, additional resources or PD opportunities, other upcoming events, things that they're trying to highlight or share so that staff are informed and aware of things that are happening at a district or maybe even bigger state level. And then again, YouTube is a good resource for the staff members that want that information. The streaming of the Board of Education meetings, a lot of times those are really important and people want to see those. So whether they stream them live or they go to the YouTube site and watch them afterward, it's a good source of information that the district uses to keep all of that posted and organized. And then this year, we do have something new in our district. We have Raptor Alerts, which the district purchased. It's a computer app and can also be a mobile app. It's a system for alerting and notifying during emergencies and drills. So that is something that is newer to us this year, but it is something that was purchased, that the district invested in order to kind of help push notifications and have a way for the staff within buildings to connect during emergencies. As far as like the building or classroom level, how we communicate to parents and guardians is pretty similar to the district level. We do use Skyward a lot. That's our online platform. And again, this allows for a lot of the time-sensitive information if we're trying to push messages out to parents, all of the parents that are in a program or in a building. Like just recently we had parent-teacher conferences, so that was one that we used to kind of remind parents to sign up for their appointment or time slot for conferences, and it was a really easy way to get that information to everybody consistently at the same time using that one-way communication. Within our building, though, within our program, we also do have our own Facebook page, which is a great source of information. We'll post stuff that's happening district-wide there that our parents would need to know about, but it also really is kind of tailored to the things that are happening within our building. We use it to highlight upcoming events. We also use it to post pictures and achievements, positive things that are happening in our buildings, whether it's field trips or our Students of the Month. It's also just a way to share information about what's happening because we do also have a digital newsletter that goes out and gets posted on the Facebook as well, just kind of highlighting some of the things that are happening in specific classrooms so that parents feel like they're informed or they can find that information if they want to know more about what's happening. Personal emails and phone calls are also a really important method of communication when you think not just about pushing information to all of the parents within the building, but you want something that's more personalized and specific to them and their student. So connecting with parents about individual student needs or concerns, or to collect information from parents about their needs or concerns. So I definitely prefer that method. Just because it's a little bit more personalized, it allows you to have a more one-on-one conversation and really develop that individual relationship with those parents in the building. And then usually from that too, if there's more information or a more in-depth conversation that needs to be had, it's an easier way to schedule a meeting or a conversation with a parent to invite them into the building. I also added in here too, when you think about all the stakeholders in the building, I think students get forgotten a lot, and communication with them is just as important as it is with their parents or guardians. And so for our students, we also provide communication through daily morning announcements, whether that's just sharing upcoming events, tryouts for sports, sharing how individuals did on sports teams, highlighting some of those achievements, just sharing information that they would need access to. And then we also have a physical space in the building at the end of the hallway. We have a bulletin board where we try to post a lot of that same information so that they can see upcoming sporting events, picture day, things like that that are need to know information that students might need communicated to them. As far as the building or classroom level for staff, between staff members, we do heavily rely again on email. We are a very digital district, which I don't know if it's as effective with our parents because we do have a really high population of low SES families in our community. So I think that does create some barriers and issues when we're talking about effective communication with our parents. But I think within our buildings, email and phone calls are a really effective way to keep everybody, as far as staff and stakeholders within the district, informed and updated. We do try to keep this daily communication, especially if it's something that is need to know information for that day, whether it's attendance or discipline issues or actions, things like that. Those are shared between all team members, and we have like a group established so that any need to know information, everybody's on the same page and we can all support students and what they need that day. And that does include certified and classified staff that would be dealing with those students. We do also have in-person staff meetings. We try to do these at least once a month, if not more, depending on what the staff needs or what the administration needs. This varies a lot of times from presentational communication to where we're being given information about things from administrators that we need to know or are going to need to do. But it also then kind of incorporates engaging in more open reflection together as a team, listening and two-way communication where we're sharing feedback about things that are going well, discussing and problem solving things that are needing some support. So those are a really good opportunity because it really allows you to not misinterpret information, and it really gives us a good opportunity to just check in on those relationships and maintain those relationships with one another, so that when we do have to rely more on email and things like that, it's a little bit more effective communication and there's no misunderstandings or misinterpretations. Everybody kind of stays on the same page. So thinking back then to introductions and the role that they play in communication, when you're introducing yourself to someone, that is really your initial communication with them. And I think it is important to move beyond just your title, because that is just your job. It's not who you are as a person. So when you're introducing yourself, whether it's to a parent or a guardian or to the student or to another stakeholder in the building, it's an opportunity to give an impression of your leadership style, your values, but it also is so important in establishing the type of communication that you want to have with that person based on that initial relationship that you establish. So I think it's super important to not just say, this is who I am and what I do, but to give that impression of like, I'm listening to you here also, and what are we going to do together? I think also, and this is just me as an individual, knowing that I am a very visual person as well. I don't just like to read things, I like to see them. So I think having multiple methods of visibility for yourself as a leader is super important. Understanding the importance of utilizing a variety of methods to share information about your goals as a leader, but also understanding your audience and the impact of audio and visual communication with them. Knowing what they need and what they will respond to or connect with is super important, because they are a part of that school community and you need them to help support your vision and mission as well. And then as far as understanding your district, I think it's important to know what resources or tools have been purchased or are already utilized for communication, and then what the guidelines for those are. I know our district utilizes Twitter. We don't have one for our personal building, but a lot of the other schools in the district do. And I know that there are some very specific set of guidelines for using that, same as the social media and the Facebook pages. So I just familiarizing yourself with those communication expectations, but also knowing the expectations of others is important, right? Listening so that you are aware of what they prefer and how they prefer to get information is an important piece in establishing and maintaining that relationship so that there can be productive and positive conversations. So the correlation to the standard for this assignment, it correlates with that standard that touches on introductions and communication, because it explores the methods of communication that are currently utilized within the school settings and the ways in which they were established to help support the current and future success of students and staff. This assignment also aids in the reflection process because it helps you to consider how building leaders can utilize communication to develop and foster positive relationships within the larger school community, whether that's with stakeholders, parents or guardians, the students themselves, other staff members, the larger community as a whole. Super important to have those, that communication and relationships. Relevancy, this assignment was really relevant to my current learning because it helped me to develop a better understanding of just how complex those communication networks that exist within school settings and the larger school community are. It also helped me and reflect on how communication norms are established based on those relationships within the school setting, because those stakeholders have those relationships and you have to establish those norms and kind of how you're going to move forward communicating to begin with. Additionally, this assignment has given me an opportunity to explore the areas in which communication can be developed to create opportunities for communication and engagement between the school and all of its stakeholders. And then just my personal reflection, I think this assignment has better prepared me for building leadership within the school setting because it helped me to understand just how complex all of these communication networks that exist are, because there are many, whether it's between students and staff and teacher or other teachers, parents. I have a better understanding of the connection that exists between these stakeholders in these various positions and how those relationships with these stakeholders really sets the tone for the effectiveness of that communication that's taking place. I think this assignment also provided me with some strategies to introduce myself as a leader, and also some different methods for engaging in meaningful communication with others that will help me work with stakeholders to meet that school's vision or mission.